first employee came in crawling for the interview because her family could not afford a wheelchair. If you would give her, say, a cup of coffee, her hands would shake and it would fall. Today, that same girl, she sits on her wheelchair and she manages 10 other people with disability. She's the manager for our first cafe. As I talk to you, we have
Wow.
hundreds of wonderful, wonderful women who are working at the Mitti cafes that we have, and together we've served over 11 million meals across our cafes, thereby
That's
enabling us
amazing.
to create awareness about inclusion with every meal or beverage that we've served.
Hi, and welcome to Big Food Energy, a podcast that spotlights some of the most exciting food businesses in India and around the world. Today, we have a guest who has been able to use food creatively in her business as a vehicle to enable more diversity and inclusivity in the food industry. Alina Alam is the founder of Mitti, a social initiatives foundation that runs cafes across India to generate livelihoods for those with special needs. Miti started with one cafe in Bangalore in 2017 and now runs 38 outlets in corporate spaces, malls, and airports in cities like Delhi and Bombay. And last November, Miti opened a cafe in none other than the campus of the Supreme Court of India. Any industry is richer when there's diverse representation, and with her chain of Miti cafes, Alina has been able to impact the way India looks at hospitality. Today, we're speaking to Alina about just that, how to build a truly inclusive business. Hi, Alina, and welcome to Big Food Energy.
Thank you, Smita. It's my pleasure to be here. And I'm so excited to talk. I think the next few minutes that we talk, it'll be a lot of learning for me as well. Looking forward to that.
Cool. So, Alina, could you start by telling us how did you begin? I know you were inspired by a documentary, but if you could tell us in a little more detail about how it all began.
So Smita, I was in college waiting for placements, final semester that will get onto a job and send some money home. And Baki say, I can have some fun, and
Hmm.
but God had other plans. So I get to watch this one documentary, as you mentioned, in my final semester, and where I get introduced to this character called Nero. The
Hmm.
documentary was by this amazing person called P. Sainath, and this was in the Vidarbha Farmer Suicides. So I
Hmm.
get to meet this character, as I was mentioning, Nero. Nero was an emperor in the ancient Roman Empire. He was mighty, rich. He would win one war after the other and the other. And one day he wins the biggest battle of his life. And when you win, what do? You party. So he decided to throw a
Yeah.
party and he invited the who's who of Tinseltown. He invited kings and queens, princes and princesses from across 7 kingdoms. And as evening befell, Nero said, Boss, we need some lights to make the party happening, rocking. So he decided to burn kachra, waste, to generate light. He decided to burn the prisoners of war and the poor people who were captured, who he considered not more than waste. I must have been around 22 or 23 years old then, sitting in that classroom. What I realized was that the problem is not Nero. You could equate Nero with atrocities, injustice, discrimination, all the not so nice things that exist in this world that will always exist. The problem was not Nero. The problem was Nero's guests, as to how thousands of them could sing, dance, drink when fellow human beings burned and died. And at that point of time, Smith, I realized that I was one of Nero's guests. That is, if you feel
Hmm.
something about anything and if you're not willing to take action, then you've taken a side, and unfortunately, that side is that of the oppressor. And having been brought up by my own grandmother, she had a disability, but all that I can remember about her is abilities. So inclusion, disability inclusion was something that was always very close to my heart because I was raised by someone who had a disability. And
Hmm.
contrary to the way I looked at her, like she did have a disability, she needed support in walking, but there were a million other things to her. And when I looked at the world and the way the world viewed people with disabilities, I was very confused that, how can someone's whole identity, the opportunities that they have, they don't have, be directly linked to their disability and only their disability, and which is something that I wanted to challenge. So instead of I decided I will not sit for college placements and started volunteering with organizations that work in the inclusion space, where one simple thought got reinforced that the problem is not that there are, like, I'm a mother to a 1 year old baby now. So the problem is not
Congratulations.
that thank you. The problem is not that there are 70 million people, there is over 7 crore people with physical, intellectual and psychiatric disabilities in India, and over a billion people with disabilities across the world. Generally, when we pregnant, what do we say? We want a healthy baby. What does a healthy baby
Yeah.
mean? That we want a baby without a disability. But is that the problem? The problem is not that there are X number of people with disabilities across the world. That statistics is not the problem. The problem is a larger statistics, Smita, which is the disability in our perceptions that stops us from seeing the magic in their abilities. I wanted to challenge and changes that. I needed a common denominator that could connect people to people. What better than food, as you would know,
Mhm.
to do that? A common denominator that would connect a friend to a friend, a mother to a child, and civilization. So, food is a medium to do two
Mhm.
simple things. One is money should enter the accounts of people with disabilities year on year sustainably. Second, more important than that, creating awareness about inclusion with every meal or beverage that our team members serve. Because the
Mhm.
movement doesn't just belong to us. It cannot just be belong to a Mitti Cafe. The whole objective of a Mitti Cafe is that we inspire and enthuse the community to participate in the movement of inclusion, which is theirs. So my first cafe was at a dilapidated tin shed full of generations of rats. I did not have money as when I started Mitti, so no zero startup capital, multiple rejections. I did
Mhm.
not even know what capex and opex means. All that I had, I think, was passion then, and I was crazy enough to really delve into this beautiful journey that it's been for me. And Yeah, I mean, and I think what I realized as an entrepreneur, and for others who may want to become entrepreneurs, whether it is in the
Mhm.
sector of hospitality, F&B, or any other sector, that scarcity is something that you shouldn't fear. So when I didn't have anything,
Mhm.
so scarcity leads to creativity, which leads to a leash like
Absolutely.
attitude, desperation. All of these are great assets for any entrepreneur. So when I didn't have money to start my first cafe, 90%, so I went from door to door, shop to shop, house to house. 90% of our equipments, right from the spoon, second-hand fridge, second-hand oven, tissue papers, were all donated by people I didn't know, who all joined the movement of
Wow.
inclusion, became our brand ambassadors, and that's how our first cafe came into being. Our first employee came in crawling for the interview because her family could not afford a wheelchair. If you would give her, say, a cup of coffee, her hands would shake and it would fall. Today, that same girl, she sits on her wheelchair and she manages 10 other people with disability. She's the manager for our first cafe. As I talk to you, we have
Wow.
hundreds of such wonderful, wonderful women who are working at the Mitti cafes that we have. And together,
Mhm.
we've served over 11 million meals across our cafes, thereby
That's
enabling us
amazing.
to create awareness about inclusion with every meal or beverage that we've served.
That's absolutely amazing. It's just so fascinating, and it really blows my mind that you've been able to achieve so much in a fairly short span of time. But so Mitti isn't just about the cafe, right? It's also about training and inclusion. Could you talk to me a little more about Mitti's approach? It's a sort of three-pronged approach, from what I understand. There's a cafe, but then there are also two other sort of verticals that you've
Yeah,
built
yeah.
out in Mitti.
Yeah. So Sweta, COVID happened and all our cafes shut down because initially the model of
Mm-hmm.
Mitti was that we will only do it within corporate tech parks, and within
Mm-hmm.
corporates, captive audience, sustainability will not be a problem, and nobody thought that a COVID would happen, and so we did decide to do. So we had our cafes within Infosys, Wipro, Accenture, and so on. And COVID happened, all our cafes went into hibernation. Hundreds of our team members with disabilities
Mm-hmm.
that we had to support, so many we had trained and placed elsewhere, and they lost their livelihoods. And for us, the challenge then was survival. So
Yeah.
at that point of time, so Mitti was only within corporates. So we said, okay, corporates are shut now. What is open? Hospitals. So we started Mitti cafes in
Mm.
hospitals. We started Mitti cafes in public spaces. We started Mitti cafes in airports, which we would have otherwise, we were very comfortable doing it within corporates. Now there are so many corporates across the
Right.
country.
Yeah.
So we diversified our locations and we continued to
Mm-hmm.
scale. And when we were looking at survival, one of our employees with disability, his name is Hemant. He's got cerebral palsy and autism. Now, generally
Mm-hmm.
with people with intellectual disabilities, we say that they're aimless, they don't know what they're doing, they don't know what they're saying. So these are the stereotypes that we
Mm-hmm.
have. But our experience about people with intellectual disabilities is very different. They may be slow, but then they are perfectionists at whatever they do, and they do things from their heart. So when Hemant came to
Mm-hmm.
us, this was at the peak of COVID, when we were delving and figuring out ways to survive. This chap comes and says that दीदी लोग भूखे हैं और हमें खाना बनाना आता है. मतलब, there are people who are hungry, we know how to cook. And imagine his vision. We talk in numbers. Now we'll serve 100 meals, we'll serve 1,000 meals, we'll
Sure.
serve maybe a
Yeah.
crore meal. So we always put numbers to what we're doing. Now this boy with autism, he comes to us and he says, if अगर हम खाना बनाएंगे, imagine इस vision, कोई भूखा नहीं रहेगा. So we started with we caught on to that vision, and we started with a few hundred meals, and today as I talk to you, we've served over 6 million meals to the economically vulnerable, and all of these are
Wow.
done by people with disabilities. Thereby
Mhm.
just changing the entire paradigm, that persons with disabilities given the right kind of support can not just support themselves but support the nation in need. So during COVID, we
Mhm.
started Mitti cafes outside of corporates. We started Karuna meals, as we call it today, compassion meals campaign. We continue that even
Mhm.
today in the remotest of areas,
Amazing.
including in the Sundarbans, where people who can't afford food, we reach out that food to them, give it to them, celebrate the unity that the country should have, celebrate the importance of dignity in whatever you do. And this is
Mhm.
all of this is done by our team members with disabilities. We started gifting as a vertical, which is when our cafes are shut down and we had to figure out alternative means to engage our team members with disabilities, especially those with very severe disabilities. So we started Mitti Good Gifts, as we call it today, where gifts that are made by
Mhm.
persons with disabilities, mothers of people with disabilities, acid attack survivors, and all of these gifts are also at our cafes. So integrated all of this, and so there are multiple verticals that we could start during COVID, and we as a team, I think your team is your biggest asset.
That's amazing. I mean, that's just incredibly inspiring. But so, Alina, if you could talk to me a little bit about, I'm sure it's been a challenge to get people with different kinds of special needs to follow certain SOPs, right? Because at the end of the day, you are
Yeah.
running certain number of cafes. There is a way to do things if you want a fixed outcome. So, could you tell us about how the training works to include different people with different needs and different special needs?
Sure. So, Smita, we have people across disabilities. So, we have people with physical, intellectual, and
Yeah.
psychiatric disabilities, people with paraplegia, quadriplegia, Down syndrome, autism, people in the autism spectrum. We have people with psychiatric disabilities as well, hearing and speech impairment. So, what we believe in is that everybody has the potential to do something amazing, irrespective of their disability, and everybody has their likes and dislikes, strengths and weaknesses, irrespective of their disabilities. And so, for
Mm-hmm.
example, someone with hearing and speech impairment may be very good with numbers, or maybe very good with customer service, or maybe very good with baking, and the same goes to someone on a
Sure.
wheelchair. So I think we did not categorize disabilities with what they can do. Every individual is unique, they are different, they have their strengths,
Mm-hmm.
weaknesses like we have. So I think that has proved to be a win for us, to recognize people as people and not their disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Second is also at the same time to create a conducive environment that anybody can. What we are doing at Mitti is nothing great. This is what we want to prove to the world, that anybody can emulate it. Something as basic as if a person, if a customer who's blind is coming in, they should have access to the menu. So maybe a menu in braille, which would cost the
Mm-hmm.
restaurant owner hardly anything, but it would be a sense of
A
you
huge
a
step.
sense of empowerment, a sense of dignity to someone
Mm-hmm.
even at your cafe who has got visual impairment, or a customer who comes in. Also, a software like Jaw, for someone who's visually impaired to operate the POS system, or
Mm-hmm.
I think for us, or to have an accessible infrastructure, so there are detachable
Yeah.
ramps which are available, and so on and so forth. So I think all of this together in our training is also experiential in nature, which means that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of our and the reason why it is experiential in nature is that a lot of our candidates with disabilities, they may not have had access to formal education ever. So
Right.
they've probably never gone to a school, and for us, we believe that irrespective of formal education, everybody can pick up skills. So for example, for to our training in our training, people are doing things and learning. For example, the difference between dry waste and wet waste that one needs to segregate if they are in the F&B environment can be learned through
Mm-hmm.
a game, you know uh, where you keep two baskets and you ask them to put dry waste, aim dry waste into one, wet waste into one. Or something like, if you
Mm-hmm.
touch money, you don't touch food, can be learned. You don't need theory for that. So all of this put together, we have persons across disabilities at our cafes. They complement each other, and
Mm-hmm.
our training recognizes the fact that every individual is unique. Also, for our candidates with intellectual disabilities, they may require, we've introduced a lot of pictorial learning, art, etc., to teach them. So we have
Mm-hmm.
also tweaked our training in a way that is also conducive to them, fun for them, relatable. So pictures are a great win. We've introduced theater for training, participatory
Amazing.
theater, and so on. uh, I think empathy is not just towards people with disabilities. Empathy is a trait that would, in large, benefit, I think, everyone in the society. And that is what we want to promote through a Mitti Cafe, which is compassion and courage being two weapons that can eradicate any problem that our world faces today.
That's beautiful. Alina, could you tell me what a regular day at Minty Cafe looks like for a staff member? How do they begin their day, and what does the rest of the day look like?
So it is like any usual cafe, but with a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I think every time our team members are on the field, they are our warriors with disabilities, because they are the ones who are creating awareness through natural interactions, and they know that it's not just about the
Mm-hmm.
9 to 5 for them. It is about the kind of awareness that we are able to create with everyone who's coming in, punching that one bill, maybe just passing by. And that sense of responsibility, that ownership exists within the team.
Mm-hmm.
While they have different roles, but the unique reason why we all, including myself, Nandish, Kirti, Bhairappa, they're all there at a Mitti Cafe, is because of the kind of awareness that we can create, with which we are confident that exponentially it could impact the livelihoods, the perceptions, for so many people with disabilities across the globe. So
Mm-hmm.
they're always on mission mode. Of course, they have a lot of fun. If you look at our videos on Instagram, or
Mm-hmm.
again, all videos where they're having fun. And for a lot of our candidates, they don't have parents, so they're permanently living with us, and so it is like a family for them. And we have peculiar
Mm-hmm.
HR challenges, unlike a lot of other organizations where people don't want to take leave, people don't want to leave on time. I mean, versus if
Wow.
in other organizations that people don't want to come on time, or people want leave. I mean, we
Yeah.
literally have to force, like Nandish, one of our team members, he's got spinal cord injury, and he's now got a problem of bed sores, so he had to go through a surgery.
Okay.
And I remember, um, uh, just we were having some program that was happening, and purposely we didn't tell Nandish, because we knew that he's going to hop, jump, and come for that particular event. And that's what, and from where he heard that, and we had to literally threaten him to just go back. I mean, from the hospital he just came after the surgery with the stitches on. I mean, which
Wow.
was ridiculous.
Oh
No,
my
I mean, which
God.
was, no, I mean, literally, I mean, we had to threaten Nandish. Nandish is going to be your last day at Minty Cafe if you do this again. But we have like peculiar challenges. And yeah, I mean, on the 1st of April we have an inauguration inside the Rashtrapati Bhavan. We're starting a Mitti Cafe
Mm-hmm.
there.
Wow.
And I mean, and it
Congratulations.
is, I mean, for us, I think it is, and again, Nandish, as I was mentioning him, he came to know about it, and he said that, I'm all charged to come, and, things like that. And he said, no, you please be, and rest, which is the most important, because it's so difficult for someone with spinal cord injury.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike us, even for them to, use the washroom, they need to use a catheter. And
Mm-hmm.
and it is so painful, when, because you can't, mostly, and he's also an athlete, by the way, so
Wow.
he's playing at the national level, etc. Even then he gets bed
Wow.
sores. So I think we have these challenges, but the sense of ownership that exists within the team, Smita, it is just unparalleled, and something that we take great pride in.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. You mentioned Rashtrapati Bhavan. Could you tell me a little bit more about that? How did that happen, and how just how did that happen? I'm super curious.
So I've always believed that what you plan, if your intentions are great, God will give you even more. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of these are coincidental, honestly, Smita. It's not that we wrote to Rashtrapati Bhavan, or we wrote to the Supreme Court, or we wrote to Bangalore International Airport, which was our first biggest break. Of course, now we're at multiple other airports across the country. We're
Yeah.
doing seven more airports, but
Amazing.
when Bangalore airport happened for us, Smita, it was at the time of COVID, when we just had started at Sidecare Hospital, because the founder of the hospital was one of our he was in the mentor network, and he said that, hey, now all your cafes are shut, why don't you open something here? And then the MD of the airport, Bangalore International Airport, Hari Marar, he seemed to walk into Sidecare Hospital for a vaccination, and he said, hey, why don't we
Wow.
have this at the airport? And for us, that was the first ever break, like where we could publicly show the cause, and get our team members with disabilities to the absolute forefront, because airports are a connection, that connects the world together.
Mm-hmm.
And post the airport, I had gone to speak at a FICCI event. I was invited to speak at a FICCI Flow event, which is when I met a senior advocate, Priya Hingorani. She was very
Mm-hmm.
touched by what we do, and she then, the Hingorani Foundation then took it upon themselves to write to the Chief Justice's office.
Amazing.
And he was the Chief Justice of India, was so kind. He immediately gave a go ahead, and they helped us with the setup cost, and we had one
Wow.
of our donors, HD Pari Foundation, coming in very quickly, and we had the Chief Justice of India inaugurating it, of course, and we had all the justices coming for the
Amazing.
inauguration. It was just, I mean, for us, it was so emotional and memorable, and more importantly, I think the kind of awareness that we could create by being in the apex justice institution of the country is just
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal. Coincidentally, we had the president of India also coming into our cafe,
Wow.
President Draupadi Murmu, and this was on Constitution Day, so the CJI got her in to the cafe, and post that, of course, the Rashtrapati Bhavan happened, and they've given us this beautiful space just opposite to the Rashtrapati Bhavan Museum, and
Wonderful.
we're turning it into an award to create awareness about disability inclusion and the rights of people with disabilities, about economic independence and dignity. We
Mm-hmm.
recently inaugurated at the Lucknow airport with the support of the Adani Foundation. They've been
Mm-hmm.
incredible at supporting us, even with a space at Mumbai International Airport and multiple other airports that we'll be doing with them, including Ahmedabad and Mangalore, Navi Mumbai.
Wow.
So we got a space at Lucknow Airport at the time when the terminal was getting inaugurated.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love that. Just to shift gears a little bit, Alina, if you could talk to us about, of course, the actual food at the cafe. I'm sure just developing the menu, figuring out what kind of foods would make sense for someone with special needs to be able to communicate, but also, make that food. If you could talk to us about how you created that menu, how you came up with it, and also what sells.
So when we started with Tea Smita, we were doing everything. Okay, we were doing
Mm-hmm.
99 varieties of dosa also. Whatever the company corporate would require, we said, okay, we'll do it. We'll somehow do it.
Right.
But we realized that in you make money in, and this is very important, that you make money in supply and not in sales. So you make the
Okay.
money that you're losing out in
Explain that to me.
supply. Yeah, so the money that, that 10%, 20%, if you're able to manage your supply chain properly, is what you gain. So and for
I
us, from
see.
the 300 and whatever ingredients to coming to 30 ingredients, it has been a journey of maturity. And honestly, like, our menu is now streamlined to an extent which is easy for our team members with disabilities to do, people for which we would get repeat customers. Beverages are always a hit. So
Mm-hmm.
for us, our kullar chai is our most popular item. The kullars are also coming from our facility in West Bengal that deploys people with disabilities. We
Wow.
have so the kullar chai, everything that revolves around chai, easy for our team members to do, quick service, repeat customers if you have, of course, have good tea, which we do. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I think we've gone, so even now today, if corporates come and tell us that do their entire meal for us, we'll say no, this is what we do,
Mm-hmm.
and this is our model. So things around so tea and things revolving around tea.
Amazing. Okay, cool. Um, if you could talk to us, Alina, a little bit about, what are the ways that, say, someone else from the food industry is listening to this podcast and they want to know how to have a more inclusive workforce, what would your sort of recommendations be on how to just how to build for a more inclusive workplace?
Smita, it's very simple, and I want to reiterate what we are doing is nothing great, and which is what we want to tell to the world, that what we are doing can be emulated by anyone, whether it's a manufacturing
Mm-hmm.
unit, a food unit, whether it's in the field of service, hospitality, anywhere. So, it's just that I think the biggest game changer is the intent,
Mm-hmm.
and my recommendation would be hire just one person with disability, and you'll have multiple organizations, including Mitti, where pro bono, we're ready to take you through that journey, the journey of hand holding. And trust me, the experience that you have with someone, for example, a Dakshayani, she's got 100% visual impairment, or a Janki, she's got 100% visual impairment. Someone like a Sabiha, she's got multiple sclerosis, which is a very severe disability where you have no control over your hands or your legs. Now, Sabiha, when we tried to put her in the kitchen, it didn't work out because she did
Mm-hmm.
not have modern. I mean, she could not hold anything. Then we realized that she's got the gift of the gap. So that was also a learning for us. That is, if you come in for a 10 rupees chai, she will talk you
Mm-hmm.
out of 50 rupees combo meal. And you see, Sabiha doesn't. Yeah, so Sabiha doesn't work with Mitti Cafe anymore. Now she
Mm-hmm.
started her own kirana shop. She's deployed a person with Down syndrome, and
Wow.
she's one of our vendors. So the possibilities are large. There'll be a lot of trial and errors, which is the case with a lot of other people you hire as well. But
Mm-hmm.
give them that one opportunity, and in turn, they will also train you. And For us, working with people with I mean, we've literally worked with people across disabilities, and there's not been a particular incident where we felt that because of a disability a person is not able to do anything. So
Mm-hmm.
and
Lovely.
basic things, Smita, like you can just have your instructions in braille.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a basic software which is not very expensive, that would enable a person with visual impairment to really operate a system. You could have
Mm-hmm.
your placards in sign language. You could have basics of sign language, that it's so much fun to learn, and it's so simple also, that everybody should pick up, and everybody could pick up. Even at your restaurants, you could have like basic visual of basics of sign language, like a hello,
Mm-hmm.
a thank you, a sorry,
Right.
and so on. Tea is this, two times this is coffee. So simple.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You make it sound incredibly simple. I'm sure it hasn't been all that simple in reality. But has there been a time where a customer has come in and not fully understood Mitti's commitment to inclusivity? Has there been a time where
Yeah.
you've sort of felt that abrasion? Could you tell me about it
Of
and
course,
how did you
Smita.
sort of
Of
overcome
course,
it?
Smita. Yeah, and which is why we exist. So I walked into
Mm-hmm.
one of our cafes. This was at Australia New Zealand Bank, and this was at the time we had just started. And one customer comes storming at me, and somebody must have told them that I'm related to Mitti Cafe. And you're like, "Are you related to Mitti Cafe? You know this boy here. The way he talks to me, I came in and without saying anything, he's like, samosa, how many?" So I listened to that person, and I mean, very valid, right? You won't
Sure.
want a reaction like that when you go into any shop, for that matter of
Mm-hmm.
fact, and let alone a cafe. So I explained to the person that his name is Bharat, he's got autism. His expressions may not do justice to how amazing he feels, within.
Mm-hmm.
And your coming to the cafe by itself is such a booster for Bharat and his mother. Every month Bharat
Mm-hmm.
takes back money home. His parents are so proud. He contributes to the rent of the house, and so on. And this customer, he didn't say anything, he walked away. And then the next day, because of course at that point of time we didn't have many cafes, I used to go into the limited cafes, that they were my office. So I happened to be in that cafe, and I see this person, and I just I kind of like hid that, I mean, is it going to be round two for me? And but I see that this particular person, he goes, he's got another friend of his, and he's giving Bharat a high five, and he's introducing Bharat to that person. So perceptions can change. It's just about that effort.
So, you also mentioned the fact that you have these partners. Just for us to understand, the partners who provide you with locations, whether it's an ANZ Bank or a Wipro or whatever, do they provide you with these locations, and do they help you with the capital to set up the cafe, or how does that sort of aspect of the
Yeah.
business work?
Yeah. So, yes. So a lot of the corporates that we set up cafes in, they give us the setup support,
Mm-hmm.
and post that we don't need money to run the cafe. It is self-sustainable for a
Sure.
lifetime. For example, if we start at an airport or maybe at a Rashtrapati Bhavan, we do have
Mm-hmm.
organizations in place who help
Mm-hmm.
us with the initial setup.
Mm-hmm.
And of course we have multiple stakeholders. We have NGO partners, we have donors, we have our customers are great stakeholders, our team members with disabilities are stakeholders. So I mean, there are multiple stakeholders who make Mitti what it is.
That's amazing. Okay. And what are your hopes and dreams for the future of Mitti?
So the vision is very simple. It may be a
Mm-hmm.
dream, but it is still, a dream that we hope would come true someday, because dreams do come true. We hope for a world where economic independence and dignity is a reality for the billionth person across the world for whom economic
Mm-hmm.
independence and dignity is not yet a reality, and for which we feel that Mitti is one such medium. We want to expand Mitti to as many places in India, across the globe, take these stories across the globe so that more people can join the movement of inclusion, join this
Mm-hmm.
movement, replicate it in their own ways. It need not be starting a venture, it may just mean changing mindsets and perceptions. It may
Yeah.
just mean influencing just that one person to change their mindset or perceptions, so that one person can get a livelihood opportunity that they're otherwise missing. And at Mitti Cafe, we've Subhairappa, he's one of our candidates, and he's got dwarfism and motor disability. When he came in, he's about 3 feet in height. He did not know the concept of wearing slippers or even brushing his teeth. Today, he's our team
Wow.
lead. He's leading our entire cafe at the airport. And Bhairappa was told that because of his disability, he will never find anybody to love him. Today, Bhairappa has
Mm-hmm.
found someone. He's met his partner at Mitti Cafe. They got married,
Wow.
and this was an Infosys Wipro love story, because then Bhairappa was at Infosys, Rupa was at Wipro, and we have almost 25 love stories at Mitti Cafe, where people have met in Mitti Cafe,
Wow.
fallen in love, gotten married. So disability has no boundaries. Uh, I think love is just. I think it is something that can overcome anything, and these are the
Mm-hmm.
stories that we want to take to the globe. Stories that should not only be with a Rupa Bhairappa or a Kirti or our Sabiha. I mean, what we have done, anybody can do, is what we want to
Mm-hmm.
take to the world.
Lovely. And what role do you think food can play in all of this, in inclusivity and in promoting diversity?
This is Sweta. When I started Mitti, I needed a common denominator that is accessible to everyone, that could
Mm-hmm.
connect everyone. And there's nothing that can win over trust, love, build connection. There's nothing more than food, nothing better than food, to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, I mean, food is a great medium, and which is why we have chosen this as a medium to both generate livelihoods and create awareness, and naturally so.
That's amazing. Okay, lovely. Great. We're just going to move into a little rapid fire, Alina. Are you ready?
I don't think so, but yes.
Okay, so it's really quick and easy. I'm just going to say a word, and you just have to tell me the first thing that pops to your
Okay.
head. Okay.
Okay.
So your first word is food.
Love.
Disability.
Inclusion.
Okay. Mitti Cafe.
Beyond expression.
Okay. Success.
Happiness.
Lovely. Okay, great. That was it. Thank you so much, Alina. That was great. This conversation has been truly inspirational, and I hope that everyone listening in will take just some of those learnings to help build a more inclusive workplace, whether it's in the food industry or outside. But thank you so much for joining us. This has been a true pleasure and a privilege.
Likewise, Pata, I just hope more people join this movement of inclusion, because it belongs to everyone.
Like, share, and subscribe to the Big Food Energy podcast for more inspirational and important stories from the world of food.